And if you don't have Lamar Jackson in your top 10, I mean, you're just playing dumb. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I would say best dual threat quarterback, in my opinion, is Josh Allen. I mean,
Really?
Josh Allen's a dual threat quarterback.
I don't. That's not a bad.
He had 800 yards rushing. I mean, you're a dual threat quarterback.
He does it a different way. A little.
Yeah, he does, but he's still. I mean, he's huge. He's run. He's athletic. He can do it all. But the thing about Lamar was always the question of, can he be that guy in the pocket? Dave, you mentioned, can he be that pocket passer? Because you just can't be a runner in the NFL. You won't what? You won't last. And we've seen Lamar grow and grow and grow, and people still don't give him the respect he deserves. I mean, you go back to last year, he has his team ranked number 1 in the AFC, he gets hurt. I mean, he was number 1 in passing on throwing outside the numbers. I mean, the kid was doing it all. It seems that people are caught in a way of looking at him to where he's not like the other quarterbacks, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Lamar is nowhere past number 8, in my opinion, in top 10, and he's only going to get better. But now comes the standpoint when it comes back to getting squared up with great quarterbacks too. Lamar has to stay healthy, and that's for Lamar and the Ravens. You got to think about how bad the Ravens were hurt as a football team last year. The most hurt team in the NFL. Lamar is a top 7 quarterback at least, and if you got him anywhere lower than that, I can't help you.
I mean, look, the dude's won a Heisman Trophy, NFL MVP, Burt Bell Award. I mean, the guy's won a lot. But let's go ahead and throw our lists up there. We'll start with mine, the top 10 quarterbacks, Cone, in the NFL. Here's what I got. And I want to make sure we understand the parameters. This is if I am drafting number 1 overall, I'm taking a quarterback, and I'm looking at it as a wholesome situation. Not just, oh, he's a really good thrower or he's a really good runner. How are you in the locker room? How do you interact with other players? How much do they want to play for you? If I'm building an organization around you, I want Tom Brady number 1. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. I know he's a little bit older. He may not be as crisp as he's always been, but Tom Brady is a guy that guys want to play with because he knows they're going to elevate, the profile is going to get elevated. Tom Brady is a guy that in the locker room is going to make sure that not only the role players are doing what they're supposed to do, he holds stars accountable. Antonio Brown's really the only one he wasn't able to get a handle on. You could say Aaron Hernandez, but I think you're being a little bit picky there. So I'm going to go Tom Brady 1. Aaron Rodgers physically is the best quarterback to me overall. I got him at number 2. But I would want Tom Brady to be willing to take a pay cut. If I went over to Tom's locker and I said, hey, man, I need you to take a little bit off so we can make the team as good as possible to go win a championship, I think Tom Brady's going to say, you know what? I want to win championships. Let's do it. Aaron Rodgers is going to say, no, I want a key to the vault to the city. So I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers 2. Mahomes, I'm going to go 3, speaks for itself. Really, between him and Josh Allen, that 3 and 4 was probably the hardest decision that I had when it comes down to it, Cone. So I'm going to put Patrick Mahomes 3, Josh Allen 4. Give me Joe Burrow 5. I mean, let's just be realistic. The guy had an offensive line that was about as physical as an invisibility cloak. So once they get that settled around him and Jamar Chase, I'm loving the connection there. And then Russell Wilson, another dual threat guy, another guy, Cone, you brought up, that doesn't get squared up a lot. And I know he's probably going to get suspended this year, but they haven't announced a suspension yet. So I'm going Deshaun Watson at 7. Look, Deshaun Watson's an elite quarterback. You can think what you want. I know he's going out there getting old fashions and doing whatever, but he's an elite quarterback there at 7, allegedly. Let me say that, allegedly. Matt Stafford at 8, coming off a Super Bowl. I love Matt's, nuance. He's got unbelievable touch. He's got an absolute howitzer attached to his shoulder. But I think there's a lot of quarterbacks you could have put on the Rams last year with Cooper Kupp and that supporting cast, and they would have gone and won a Super Bowl. Then give me Lamar at 9. That's where I got him. I kind of went back and forth with him and Deshaun a little bit, believe it or not, but I got Lamar at 9, and then 2022-23 Super Bowl champion, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. The dude's ceiling's higher than a Great Gatsby party living room. I'm really excited to see this.
I'm a little surprised to see him at 10 because you've been the highest on him, really, and I have him a little higher than you do. So what do you think that Justin Herbert will be even higher next season?
I think he's going to take a big jump. The thing about Justin is I want to see it in the postseason. That's something we really haven't been able to evaluate yet. I want to see him when it's getting thick. I want to see him when it really comes down to it, but he has all the tools. Watching him, the way he keeps his eyes downfield, his poise in the pocket, he can throw rolling right, he can throw rolling left, and as a young guy, he's not afraid to take the check down. It's so hard, I think, sometimes, even quarterbacks that excelled in college, because, again, you're a lot more talented than a lot of people, but Justin Herbert seems to have a very, very high IQ with a big upside ability-wise, so I'm going to go Justin Herbert there.
One of those few NFL quarterbacks who was drafted more on ability or more on ceiling than current ability coming out of college.
That's exactly
because he didn't do as much as say a Tua did at Alabama when he was coming out of Oregon. It's sort of like an NBA draft mentality with Justin Herbert. Blew it out of the water last year. I expect to see big things from him as well. Bring up my list real quick.
Right,
I want to get yours and Blaine's.
We haven't seen these. I don't know what y'all have.
Okay, so first of all, I have to have Patrick Mahomes at the top of this list. Now, look, if we were drafting over the next 5 years, this list would look different. If we were drafting over the previous 5 years, this list would look different. But coming up this season, I have Patrick Mahomes at number one, just what he's able to do physically with the football. And we're talking about dual threats. One of the biggest things about being a dual threat quarterback to me is escaping the pocket to create other opportunities to still throw the football. Yeah. Michael Vick was electrifying on the field, but a lot of times it was 3 and hitch, and if it's not there, you're taking off, and he's running a 90-yard touchdown, or he gets squared up and takes a big hit, and maybe he's out the rest of the season. A lot about being a dual threat when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, when it comes to Josh Allen, when it comes to Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray is being able to escape that pocket and create other opportunities to still get the ball out of your hand downfield. Tyreek Hill not being in Kansas City will have an impact, but still, give me Patrick Mahomes at 1. 2, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback who has ever lived. I think what he was able to do last season at that age, then retired, then came back. Tom Brady's number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if he adds another Lombardi trophy. 3, Aaron Rodgers is the most accurate quarterback who's ever played the game. If he had Tom Brady's mentality, his name would be Achilles. From there to me, it plays out. You got Josh Allen. Look, I think Josh Allen might win the Super Bowl this season. You're talking about Justin Herbert. I think Josh Allen might win the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, a lot of people had Russell outside the top 10 when some of these lists were coming out. I still have him as a top 5 quarterback. I know he had the thumb injury. He has a new home. Will he have, great weapons in Denver? I think he has some weapons over there. What to expect in a new home. Russell Wilson, to me, there's a trust factor. There's a trust factor there, even coming off the season.
He's in the trust tree?
See. To me, he's in the trust tree. Russell Wilson is in the trust tree. You hear that? You should come on Crain and Company. Joe Burrow, look, number 6. Went to a Super Bowl. Maybe he gets over the hump, Blaine, this year. What do you think?
Let's get some offensive line. You should.
I'm big on Joe Burrow, but I think he's great. I want to see just a little bit more from Justin Herbert, like we were just talking about. But still, I think the ceiling is
well, yeah. I mean, that offensive line could throw a block party if they lived in a cul-de-sac.
So I went back. You were talking about going back and forth on your 3 and 4. I was going back and forth on where to put Matthew Stafford because, again, there is a trust factor there in terms of what he's been able to accomplish in the league. I have him 8 right now, but, I mean, look, coming off a Super Bowl win, has a chance to win another one, puts the ball wherever he wants to. I mean, he's top 10 quarterback perennially. Then I have Lamar at 9, okay, Blaine, which I know you're not, which I know you're probably not talking about. But
right?
Look, he is a top 10 quarterback. I have him in the list. Again, we have to say, I don't have Deshaun Watson on here, not because he's not a top 10 quarterback, but he didn't play last season. He may not play this season. To me, I had to remove him from that, and let's see what happens when he comes back. So then, that 10th spot, Blaine, I had to put our boy Kirk Cousins on the list at number 10, okay? Coin flip to me in terms of him and Dak Prescott. I went Kirk Cousins.
I love it.
And after that, you have the Daks and the Matt Ryan.
Well, again, I had Kirk number 11. So earlier when we were talking about him, I said he was a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. We talked about that earlier. To me, Kirk Cousins is the most underrated quarterback in the league. He's the most underrated. And I'll tell you right now, I'll tell Blaine, I'll tell Skip Bayless, I'll tell all the archangels and disciples. The Vikings will have a better year than the Cowboys. Remember, I said it. They will have a better year than the Cowboys. Justin Jefferson, absolute witch. All right, I know the offensive line. There's some questions there. I trust the Vikings. I trust Kirk Cousins. Dalvin Cook, we all know he's gone. Gonzo the Clown. You can say it. You can laugh. They're both in divisions where you really got one other dog you're competing with. With the Cowboys, it's the Eagles. Obviously, with the Vikings, it's the Packers. I think the Vikings go further or have a better season than the Dallas Cowboys. Woo. You heard me, Dak. You heard me, Ezekiel Elliott. I will scream it from the star in Dallas, Will Kane, and all your boys. I want the smoke. Vikings, Cowboys, meh.
And Blaine, it's not easy to say that when he's a Michigan State quarterback, So there you have it. I know you're crying right now.
Yeah, go ahead, bring up your list.
He's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL.
Most underrated quarterback in the NFL.
Hold on, what are we doing here at number 1, Blaine?
First of all, Zach Wilson.
City boy. I don't have
what you did.
I don't have a problem.
After what you did, okay. I didn't have an NFL team, Zach. I haven't been a fan of an NFL team. Grew up in Auburn, Alabama. Not a big NFL guy. I love watching it. But I tell you what, after the moves you made, after the city boy mentality you have, I'm a Jets fan now, buddy. I'm a Jets fan. I tell you what, even if you don't win the MVP, you won the MVP in my heart. There's 2 people I know who can control the Cougars.
Getting the Jets helmet.
All right? That's Ricky Bobby and Zach Wilson. That's who it is. Ride with the fear, Zach. He learned how to do that. All right, number one, Josh Allen. I think he's the most talented quarterback in the NFL. Thank you. I think he's the most talented quarterback in the NFL, and I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's right. You added Von Miller on the defensive side. Why'd you lose in the playoffs? Because you played against Patrick Mahomes. And the reason Patrick Mahomes is not higher to me because I think Tyreek Hill covered up a lot.
You're on that band. You're on that train then.
A lot of problems in there. There's no more running around. Let me close my eyes.
Juju?
Where's the fastest human going neat down the field and throw it 70 yards? Surprise, surprise. I'm wide open. Juju's not that guy. I promise you that. Number two, the king, Tom Brady. I mean, the golden child. Has his own avocado, kisses kids on the lips, doesn't get in trouble for it. You know, that's what he does. All right, why would I not? He's won everything that ever been known to man. I saw him make an eagle from a fairway the other day. What can this guy not do? Look at his wife. All right, number three, Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs. I mean, is he weird? Yeah. Do I like the tattoo? Yeah. Does he go on weird diets? Yeah. But can he make any pass in the NFL? Yes. But do the Packers have enough around him? No. Have they ever? No. So that's why I can't put you at number one, number two. Number four, Patrick's still a freak.
Oh, now he's still a freak.
Hold on. I didn't say he wasn't a freak. Kirk Cousins at 10. I don't want to hear it, all right? Patrick Mahomes is still a freak. Crazy arm strength, crazy accuracy. His voice freaks me out. And hopefully his brother quits doing TikToks on the sidelines. That's the reason I have it number four. That's the reason. It freaks me out. Yeah, I can't like it. Number five, I mean, Lamar Jackson.
What, sick?
Lamar Jackson, all right? Like, this guy is the Ravens. Okay. He is the Ravens. He's everything for them. If you put any other quarterback on the Ravens right now with the way the Ravens are, I mean, they have 47 tight ends on their team.
Mark Andrews is a dog.
He is. He is. And I can't remember the other one, but I played Xbox with him.
South Carolina.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown's gone. Hollywood was a deep threat. But still, Lamar, a healthy Lamar can do it all. Tell me something he can't do, and I'll show you a liar. All right? Then Russell Wilson.
I like it.
I went back and forth on this, all right? Because the thing about Russell is Russell gets into the habit of just running around sometimes, all right? And Russell's not as fast as he used to be. His arm's not what it used to be, and I'll still never forgive him for what he did on the two. Some people blame Pete Carroll. I blame Russell Wilson. If anything, just don't throw the pass. Next play, we can run in Marshawn Lynch. But Brock Owens, it's going to take time. Young talent. It's going to take time. All right, number seven, Joey B. I mean, from college, this guy's been a true king. He's been sitting on his throne the entire time. I mean, has anybody said anything bad about Joey B? He just went to the Super Bowl and almost won it without an offensive line. They were playing against Aaron Donald without an offensive line and almost won. Almost won. You're savage. Matthew Stafford, I mean, they invented the no-look pass.
He did.
Invented the no-look pass.
People think Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes did.
No, it was Staffy. It was Staffy. I mean, he's looking to the right, throwing slants across the field, hitting him right in the breadbasket. I can't even do that on a video game. All right, then Justin Herbert. Justin's going to probably has a higher ceiling, other than Joe Burrow, in my opinion, than all these guys. The thing about Justin, he's been surrounded with talent since he's been on the Chargers. He's got to do more in the playoffs to me. I think he has the talent. He needs to trust himself more. Maybe not make that pass late in games that you don't have to make, but I'll come with experience. And number 10, Dak Prescott. I know Dak has always put up great regular season numbers and faded away in the playoffs. He plays for the Cowboys. Everyone hates him. They're supposed to win the Super Bowl every year. But Dak's a good NFL quarterback, and he's for sure a top 10. If I was going to replace anybody with 10, it'd be Kyler Murray.
Can I ask you a question?
Kirk Cousins, maybe 13.
Can I ask you a question? And I don't mind this list. I'm shocked you don't have Joe Burrow, and I want to get to the Booster Club. We got to get the punter.
I do have Joe Burrow.
But I'm talking about higher. I'm surprised you had him at 7.
Who'd you put in front of?
I'm talking to you, because I'm really high on Joe Burrow. You love Joe Burrow. So I decided to be higher. But let me ask you this.
Look at the kid.
Let me ask you this.
Look at the kid.
Would you say that a top 10 NFL quarterback is just a good quarterback? Or would you say a top 10
elite
NFL is elite? Well, you just said Dak was a good quarterback. So to me, I think you just
totally let me change that. Dak is elite. Is that better?
Is he? Elite?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so
Dak's
let me
elite
ask this.
quarterback.
Let me push back.
Hold on,
a
let me
little bit.
push back, please.
Push back. You said you have, so you do have Kirk Cousins at 13.
I would say 12 or 13. I'd have to go.
Between 10, Dak at 10, who you initially said was a good NFL quarterback, and Kirk
I changed
at
it
13.
to elite. Say elite.
Yeah, you changed it. Okay, Your Honor, I'm bringing up what you said initially. Okay? What you say can and will be used against you in this situation.
Yes,
all right? Is there that big of a difference between 10 and 13 for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're splitting hairs sometimes with Dak and Kirk.
Yes.
At least with this last year's performance.
Kirk's mediocre. He's been mediocre.
Then why is he at 13? He's in the top half.
Surrounded by phenomenal weapons in his entire.
And Dak hasn't?
I mean, Zeke's not the same guy.
Got a great
I mean, let's
offensive
go.
line.
Okay, no.
Great offensive line.
No, that offensive line is old. Let's go to what the Vikings had this entire time with Kirk
He has
Cousins.
weapons.
Put Dak on the Vikings?
They're
going farther than they ever been. I promise that. Hell, Cone, we can put you on the Vikings, and you probably have some rings to show up with.
Blaine.
Well,
Kirk Cousins
that's
is
the most
mediocre,
backhanded
and
compliment.
it shows up in his record.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Dak's been surrounded by more weapons than Ukraine is right now. So I don't want to hear anything about weapons. The dude has more receivers than an AT&T cell tower.
Name 'em.
So I don't want to hear any. Amari Cooper, I'll go down the list.
Old.
So I'm talking about when he was not old.
Keep going.
You're talking about
Keep going.
Ezekiel Elliott.
That's a running back. But all right.
Yes, okay, Blaine. Weapons are more than just a receiver. Now you've got CeeDee Lamb.
Now you got CeeDee Lamb. Okay, keep going.
Oh, so
he's been in the league for 1 year.
elite?
Been in the league for 1 year.
Okay, so tell me, who's Michael Gallup?
Mid.
Boy.
Michael Gallup? You're going to flex with Michael Gallup? That's the most mid-name. It's Michael Gallup. No one gets excited about Michael Gallup being on your team.
Just because you scream louder doesn't mean you're right.
I'm sorry. No one gets excited about Michael Gallup on your
Wow.
team.
Well, they're going to pay him. If you don't think Michael Gallup's good, then you don't know as much as I thought you did.
Michael Gallup's mid.
How should I feel personally inside about Blaine saying, hell, Cone, I mean, we could put you on the Vikings.
You know how I feel? You know how I feel? You played at Michigan and he played at Western Colorado.
Do I feel good about that, or is that sort of like, hey, I like your hair, but it'd look better if you had on a better shirt? Is that like a backhand?
Well, look,
I'm just saying I think you're better than Kirk Cousins, Cone.
Where I'm from, a backhand compliment is still a compliment. Hey, everybody, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and ring that bell. We're excited to be here. It's Crain and Company live, 2 to 3 Central, daily. Ring that bell. I want to hear it from coast to coast.